Sunday nighter, Ravens at Steelers. The Steelers look more and more appealing the longer I cap this game. Steelers opened -3.5. Now they're -3s. Total opened at 51. Now there's some 50.5s. I'm thinking of going back to the well with the over that I hit on Monday night. Harbaugh always has this Ravens team in control. Ravens defense ranked number 1 overall, allowing just 819 yards over 3 games. And Tomlin, this question comes up often. Has he lost his team? Do they have to trade Le'Veon Bell? Seems like it's hanging over them every day. The Shazier injury is enormous. They haven't replaced him. This is a divisional game at home that the Steelers can't afford to lose. Big Ben always dangerous. Juju's looked incredible. After Connor erupted for 135 yards, he's come back to become the running back that we expected. 78 yards combined in the last 2 games. Flacco's been very impressive. This wide receiving core, Crabtree, Brown, and Snead look good. Flacco thrown for 889 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks. Ravens have cashed in all 12 of their red zone opportunities. The Steelers look appealing to me here. Let's start with you, Donnie. Ravens at Steelers.
It's a great game, and the cavalry's coming back for both of these teams. If you looked at the game on Monday Night Football, the right side of the offensive line was missing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now they're both going to come back. DeCastro's going to play in this football game, and also Gilbert. So they're going to be back and be one of the better offensive lines in football. But then also, if you look from the Baltimore Ravens side, looks like C.J. Mosley's possibly going to give it a go after some people are scared that he's going to miss the year with an ACL tear, or at least 4 to 6 weeks with a bone bruise. Both of the look at it. I mean, how have the times changed? When did we see, like in 2003, 4, 5, and 6, the Ray Lewis teams versus the Pittsburgh Steelers teams? Troy Polamalu out here just butting heads and playing 17-14 and knocking guys out of the games with concussions. What a complete role reversal! There should be some points in this football game when you see a 50 in a Steelers Ravens game. You say, man, how can that possibly be? Have you seen both of these teams? Where the Ravens all of a sudden are an offensive machine, and the Steelers can't stop anybody on defense. Might be leaning a little bit more to the points, but, looking at the spread itself, 3 does look a little bit short. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know they're a little bit of a malaise. It's no shame in getting beat by the Kansas City Chiefs. You dominated the Cleveland Browns. You got a tie, so people only look at that final score. You're up 30-10 at the half on Tampa Bay. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can win this football game solely just because they're home, but now that offensive line is whole and complete. They should be able to move the football in the Ravens as well.
I agree. I like that breakdown a lot. What are you thinking here, Whale Capper, Ravens at Steelers?
Oh, man, this feels like but if Jimmy Smith was out there, but if Brandon Carr was healthy, but if C.J. Mosley was 100%, I would be like mortgage betting the Ravens. The Steelers they look like frauds. They smell like frauds. They should have won that game against Tampa Bay by like 20 points. They win by, they win thanks to a couple of breaks. This is a team that I have very little faith in how well that locker room is held together. You brought up Tomlin. I don't particularly think he's a good coach, but the guys, when things are going well, they fight for him. And when things go sideways, it falls apart quick because you have so many personalities in that locker room that are just, high intensity personalities, really. And this sets up as an opportunity for Baltimore to kind of establish themselves as a contender in the AFC. We kind of look around the landscape of the AFC, as I was mentioning, and I was talking about the Chargers. It's not obvious who should be the favorite right now. I mean, I know we have 3-0 Kansas City, and people are like, well, they have the best record, so they should be the favorites. But that's a tough sell this early in the season with, a hell of a lot of football to be played. I'm not. I don't think that the Steelers are long-term contenders. This defense is way, 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 way below average. On top of that, they're missing pieces in their secondary. I think this is the kind of game where if you're a daily fantasy player or whatever, like stack Flacco, stack Brown, stack Crabtree, like these guys are they're going to put up stats in this one. I personally put a relatively modest play down on the Ravens +3. Decent odds on that, like maybe +100 or something. And I want to see more of the injury reports before or at least I want to see who's active before kind of making a larger play on this. Because if Mosley's out, then I might lose my confidence entirely in Baltimore. And all of a sudden I want my kidney on the over. If Carr is out, same sort of, he's not as valuable, but he's, your downgrade from Smith and Carr to your third and fourth defensive backs in Baltimore is really, really, really bad. And so guys like Antonio Brown and Smith-Schuster will kind of pick their numbers if guys like Mosley and Carr are out of this one. So it's a little bit of a wait and see for me in terms of who's active in this. And, I can see a situation setting up where I get more confident in the Ravens and end up kind of pushing more towards them to cover and even win. And I can also see a situation play out where the over is just a slam dunk in this one.
Yeah, I guess after those breakdowns, I'm much more confident in the over than I am with the Steelers. Some very, very good points, and maybe the best play is to wait and find out exactly who is going to be available.
50 does seem low. I mean, when you're looking at it, like, because you saw the 50s pop up, and then you have 51.5, maybe even spiked at 52s. Now you're back at 50.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know. Like, I just see two offenses just operating in like you're more likely to see, but like 28-24, and you get a victory. You know what I mean? With
20,
I don't know.
28-27 is I think where we land on this. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, a complete agreement with the total in this one, because even if the defenses do show up, you have two big arm quarterbacks. Baltimore's moving in a great direction on that. And who's going to say this? I mean, the Steelers, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to play in this game. He got a full practice in. Who's stopping anybody if both of these offensive lines are intact anyway at this point? The offense, the NFL is built for offense. And the one thing you could factor in as well in this game, I think that you saw, there's a reason why the Steelers are the most penalized, dumb football team in the NFL. If you're going to hang another 150 yards in penalties up there, this game flies over the total.
Yeah, I love it. Great breakdown, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.